The term badass is often thrown around loosely. However, this is not the case when it comes to the following 5 individuals. In fact, they might just be the embodiment of the term. From a British officer that killed and captured Nazis during World War II using a sword and longbow, to a farmer that killed over 700 invading Soviets single-handedly. These are the 5 most incredibly badass people of all time. Dr. Leonid Rogozov was part of a Soviet Antarctic expedition from 1960 to 1961. However, due to the remoteness of the location, he was the only physician for hundreds of miles. Unfortunately for the doctor, he developed appendicitis in the 2nd year of the expedition, which required immediate removal of the appendix. With no help in sight, the good doctor did what any badass would do and performed the surgery on himself. With the help of 2 untrained assistants, a driver and a meteorologist, he used a scalpel, Novocaine for local anesthesia, and a mirror, taking breaks from time to time due to him becoming lightheaded. He was eventually able to successfully complete the surgery in 2 hours, and he made a full recovery. He was later awarded the Order of the Red Banner of Labor, which I'm pretty sure is code for the Badass Award. Mad Jack Churchill was a British Army officer and a certified badass. He is known for killing and capturing Nazis during World War II, all while playing his bagpipes and rushing into combat with his longbow and sword. Mad Jack also became well known for surviving multiple explosions and being able to escape multiple POB camps after being captured during battle. However, he did a bit of capturing himself, as he's accredited with capturing over 40 Germans at sword point. Jack really loved his sword. He is quoted as saying any officer who goes into action without his sword is improperly dressed. In 1942, Jack scored the last recorded longbow kill during war. Jack lived a very exciting and adventurous life. In fact, the Royal Norwegian Explorers Club named him one of the greatest adventurers of all time. C. Dale Peterson, famous hunter and hunting guide of Jackson Hole, Wyoming, is only one of 2 people ever recorded for killing a bear without the use of any modern weapons. This is how it went down. One day, a group of backpackers aggravated a grizzly bear. Unfortunately for Peterson, he just happened to be nearby as he encountered the enraged grizzly. A fight to the death ensued. Normally, experts would recommend to play dead and hope the bear would not see you as a threat and get bored of you. But Peterson wasn't having any of that. Instead, he shoved his fist down the bear's throat and used his teeth to bite down on the bear's jugular vein, making the bear pass out and finally beat it down with his stick just in case. The kill was later verified by game biologists. It doesn't get much more badass than that. Simo Hiyha, aka White Death, was a farmer from Finland with limited military experience, having only served the mandatory 1 year, and was living out his peaceful, lonesome life in a small town. That is until the Soviets invaded in 1930. Being the badass that he was, Simon wasn't going to take this lying down, so he decided to take his rifle, a box of ammunition, and limited rations and proceed to spend hours in sub-zero temperatures, hiding, picking off the Russians one by one. Eventually the Russians sent special task forces to take out Simon, but he killed them all. They then tried to get him with counter snipers, but he got to them before they could get to him. He managed to take out over 700 Soviets in the time span of 100 days. Eventually they got him with an explosive sniper round to the jaw, and he was captured. But he managed to survive, of course. He lived to the age of 97 and was awarded several medals for his war achievements. Ching Shih was a former prostitute who was married to a pirate. However, one day her husband was suddenly killed during a tsunami. So Ching Shih, in true badass form, became a pirate herself and took control of her husband's pirate crew, and was able to amass a huge pirate armada, which was known as the Red Flag Fleet, and consisted of 180,000 pirates, which 40,000 of were directly under her command. Ching Shih and her armada were extremely successful and had their way for over 10 years, before the Chinese government had had enough and sent their own fleet to try and take her out. However, this didn't turn out so well for the government, as they were defeated in epic fashion by Shih's armada. 2 years later, the government offered Shih amnesty instead, and her pirates were allowed to keep the vast fortune they had acquired over the years from their plundering. Ching Shih could have easily retired, but instead she chose to run a successful brothel and casino till her passing until the age of 69. This lady was a true badass pirate. Hello everyone, this is JC and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more content on a weekly schedule, please consider clicking the link below and subscribing. I would also love to hear your comments and suggestions for future videos. Catch you all in the next one.